Welcome to another edition of Arizona Living. Today, we're going to talk about things you need to know before moving to Phoenix, Arizona. Stay tuned! So it's not all sunshine and rainbows here in Arizona. And again, when I say Arizona, I'm specifically referring to the Phoenix Valley. So don't cry to me, you're not talking about Flagstaff. You're right, I'm not. I'm not talking about Sedona, I'm not talking about Prescott, I'm not talking about any of those places. I'm talking about the Phoenix Valley. The locals always get mad at me when I share the negative things about living in the Phoenix area. They get all bent out of shape. For example, I just got a comment about my Avondale video. Now, unlike other places where I admit, I don't always do the best research. I mean, I watch a couple YouTube videos. I might do a Wikipedia on a place I'm gonna go visit to do a city tour. But the Avondale video, I didn't have to do anything because I lived there for 5 years. I lived there every day. I lived in Avondale. So there were 100% legit comments that I had to make. You know, no research was needed. And this guy commented that I was a poser, whatever that means, and that Avondale is Candyland. I don't know what board games he's playing, but Avondale is not Candyland. There's a reason why I relocated from Avondale to Gilbert. The locals always get all bent out of shape when I talk about negatives. No matter where you live, you're gonna have negatives, and this is just a list of things that I perceive to be negatives. You might see them to be positives. Everybody's different. So in no particular order, and I will sprinkle in some positivity along the way, let's get started with my personal list. Right off the bat, let's talk about the heat. 3 to 4 months of insane heat. Crazy hot. We're talking over 110-degree weather. You know, every year is a little different. It may not be 110 plus all 3 or 4 of those months. And people are going to say, oh, it's rarely 120. You're right. It is rarely 120. But anything over 110 is ridiculous. But it's a trade-off with snow. When I used to live in Jersey, the year before I left, we had 7 feet of snow. That's right, 7 feet. Not all in one shot. During the winter, altogether, it was 7 feet. It was ridiculous. So it's a trade-off, snow for heat. Let's talk about the high cost of electricity during those months. Because guess what? You're gonna have to pay your electric bill for the air conditioning running. The most I have personally seen is $350 in 1 month. Now it's true that you can contact your electric company, in my case it's SRP, and they can make an average for the year. So instead of me paying high and low throughout the year, I could just pay one flat rate every single month. And you know, again, going back to the Jersey scenario, over there I used to pay an arm and a leg for oil to heat the house. So again, that's a trade-off here. Let's talk about culture, the lack thereof. There's no Chinatown, there's no Little Italy. However, they have really good ethnic restaurants here. But I do kind of miss being able to go to, say, like a Little Italy. They have that in lots of other cities like San Diego and, of course, New York. Now let's talk about the boring landscape. This one really sets people off. You knew you were moving to the desert. You know what? It's a boring landscape. I've grown to like the cactus or cacti. I like them now. But it's just usually really boring. And yes, there's mountains in the background. Meh. You know, if my opinion, I don't like the desert motif. It's just not me. The ocean is 5 hours away. That's 10 hours round trip. That's really far. Now, granted, when I lived in Jersey, I never really went to the ocean, you know? Rarely did I go to the beach, even though I had it so close. Over here, it's a trek. You gotta drive all the way out. You're gonna have to sleep over. It's a pain in the butt. But, you know, some people really like the beach, some people can do without it. Let's talk about bugs. I do not like bugs. We have crickets, scorpions, black widows, roaches. They have these Palo Verde beetles that I've only seen once. It was dead, it was on the ground. This beetle, I kid you not, was the size of a Coca-Cola can. It was huge. Luckily, it was already dead. And I'm told they can actually fly. They can't steer too good, but these beetles can fly, believe it or not. And so, how do we deal with pest control here? I use a company called Nature Zone. Not sponsored. I've been using Nature Zone for years. I'm a customer for life. I love these guys. Unless they really screw up, they got me for life. People knock my door all the time about pest control, asking if I want to switch. I do not want to switch. Let me tell you why. I'll give Nature's Own a free plug because they gave me 2 free sprays, thanks to you guys that actually reached out to them. And the owner called me. He's like, bro, I don't know what you're doing, but thank you for the referrals. I'm going to give you 2 free sprays. So, I appreciate you guys trusting me to try out Nature's Own. Nature's Own has done right by me, and I hope they're doing right by you. Comment below. Let me know if you actually hired them, how you like Nature's Own. Anyway, the reason why I like Nature's Own, give them a quick plug, they actually come when they say they're going to come. They charge me immediately. They call the day before, let me know they're coming. If there's ever a problem, which there was one time where they sprayed and I still had bugs, they came out and did a free spray. They're amazing. You don't get that kind of service here in Arizona. If a contractor says they're going to come between a window, you're lucky they show up the same day. I mean, they're just great, okay? So I can't say enough good things about Nature's Own. Lastly, public transportation, They have a light rail. I did a video about a light rail, posted above. It's like 2 or 3 little dinky, whatever you call them, little trains connected, and they go up and down Phoenix proper. They go as far down as Mesa, but it's not real public transportation like I'm accustomed to in New York. The whole underground system and crazy buses. You don't have to have a car in New York. Here, you absolutely do. Are there buses? Yes. Is there a train, a light rail? Yes. But it's going to take you forever to get from point A to point B. You have to have a car if you live out here, unless you live in Phoenix proper. To wrap this up, you might be wondering, well, Sam, if there's all these negatives, why do you stay? Primarily 2 reasons. Number 1, the cost of living is less here than where I was from in New Jersey. Now, home prices have gone up, 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 and up. So in terms of real estate, that's not necessarily true anymore. But everything else, cost of living is much less, and particularly state taxes. Also, there's no snow here. I don't have to deal with that. Now, granted, if I made enough money in Jersey, I could hire someone to take care of that for me. But again, that's going to be expensive. So those are the 2 primary reasons why I stay in Phoenix, Arizona. All right, guys, so I've gone long enough ranting and raving about the things I do not like about Phoenix. There's other minor things, like when you get off the highway and any exit, there's usually a homeless person begging for money. And I say homeless because they're probably a drug addict. And, I've seen lots of things on TV where they follow these people and they actually own houses and cars and they just go in their car on their merry way. Now, some of them, I guess, are legitimately homeless, and usually homeless people have a few screws missing or they're drug addicts. I just don't like it. I think I personally don't like that there's people begging for money at every single exit. I don't like that. And supposedly they were going to do something about it. And some people in the past, when I've mentioned this, they get all bent out of shape. I'm not saying anything bad against these folks. They're folks just like you and me. They have a problem. Some of them are missing a couple screws, But whatever. It's just something I personally don't like. That concludes another edition of Arizona Living. Be sure to like, subscribe, let me know below. What opinions do you have about pros and cons of some of a bit? Why am I having a problem with this today? That concludes another edition of Arizona Living. Be sure to like, subscribe, let me know below. What are your opinions about pros and cons of living in Phoenix, Arizona? Till next time!